Have you ever really stopped to think about how we learn to make friends? I mean, it kind of feels like it just happens, right? But it's actually one of the most complicated skills we ever pick up. So today, we're going to dive into that whole journey, from our very first connection all the way through high school. And this is a big deal, because this journey sets the stage for every relationship you're building right now.
So let's start with the big question. How do we actually learn to be a friend? It's definitely not something we're born with. It's a skill, just like learning to read or ride a bike, and it's built piece by piece through thousands of little interactions. So in this explainer, we're going to break that whole process down, because getting a handle on how these skills develop isn't just about understanding kids, it's really about understanding ourselves.
Okay, so here's our roadmap. We'll kick things off with our very first relationship and see how that creates a kind of blueprint for everything that follows. Then we'll head to the friendship workshop, the playground. After that, we'll explore how kids start picking their own friends, get through that tricky social maze of school, and finally, how all of this adds up to a social skill set that we use for the rest of our lives.
Now, you might think the story of friendship starts on the playground or in preschool, but it actually begins way earlier, right at home, with our parents or whoever is our main caregiver. That first relationship, that's the foundation. It's the social blueprint for every other connection we'll ever make.
And what's really fascinating here is just how deep this all goes. Right from birth, we're learning what a relationship is supposed to feel like from these adults. That sense of feeling safe, of being protected, that's what gives a child the confidence to step out into the world and actually connect with other people down the line. So the key term here, and it's a huge one in developmental psychology, is attachment. A secure attachment basically sends a message to a child's brain that says, you're safe, you matter. And this is so critical. Because these early patterns, whether we feel secure or anxious or tend to avoid closeness, they often echo throughout our entire lives, showing up in our adult friendships and even our romantic relationships. All right, let's move on to the toddler and preschool years. As a kid's world gets bigger than just their house, they step onto the playground. And that's where they enter what you could call the friendship workshop. This is where the real, messy, hands-on learning starts to happen. And it all happens through play. And you can see this beautiful progression. First up, you've got babies in their own little bubbles. That's solitary play. Then, as toddlers, they move into what's called parallel play. The best way to picture this is to think of two people working on their laptops in a coffee shop. They're next to each other, but they're not really with each other. And finally, you get to coordinated play, where preschoolers actually start to interact, share stuff, and work on a goal together. But the building blocks for that complex coordinated play are incredibly simple. It all starts with just a smile, or a little babble, or copying what another baby does. These tiny back and forth moments, those are the very first lessons in turn-taking. They're the absolute foundation for every social conversation we'll ever have. And we can see this work in real time. Just imagine a few kids are painting a big mural, right? But there's only one paintbrush for the color blue. All of a sudden, they have to figure it out. They have to talk, they have to share, they have to take turns. That's why structured activities can be so great. They create a natural reason for kids to practice cooperation and solve social problems.
Okay, so as we move into elementary school, the social world starts to get way more defined. Kids aren't just playing with whoever happens to be sitting next to them anymore. Nope, they start actively choosing their friends. And this is where two really powerful forces start to take over.
The first one is called peer selection, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's the process where kids start sorting themselves out. They scan the classroom, and they naturally drift toward other kids who are like them. The ones who like the same games or have the same energy level.
And this points to a really key concept in sociology called homophily. Basically, it's the old idea that birds of a feather flock together. We look for friends who are similar to us because, frankly, just feels better. Those relationships are more validating, they're more stable. Think about your own life, right? We tend to hang out with people who share our interests or our backgrounds. It's a fundamental human thing, and it starts right here.
But here's the twist. It's not just about picking friends who are already like you. The second mechanism is peer influence. This is where friends actually start to make each other more similar over time. They pick up each other's slang, get into the same music, adopt the same attitudes. So friendship is really this two-way street. We pick people who are like us, and then we all become even more alike. It's this constant dance between selection and influence that's always shaping who we are. And then we hit middle school, and the social world transforms from a playground into a full-on maze. It's suddenly not just about having friends anymore. Now it's about social status, it's about popularity, and it's about searching for those really deep, meaningful connections.
Okay, this is such an important distinction to make. There are two totally different kinds of popularity. On one side, you have likability. These are the kids who are genuinely nice, who you can trust. But then there's status-based popularity. This is about being seen as cool or attractive or powerful. And understanding that difference is huge, not just for surviving middle school, but for understanding the social dynamics of pretty much any group, from your college dorm to your future office. But at the exact same time all this popularity stuff is going on, friendships are getting so much deeper. They're not just about playing together anymore. Now they're about sharing your vulnerabilities, proving your loyalty, and helping each other figure out who you are. This period is literally the training ground for the supportive friendships that many of you are building right now. Learning how to be vulnerable and how to be a trusted friend, those are the skills that become the bedrock of our adult lives.
So what about parents during all this? Well, their job description totally changes. They go from being the social manager who sets up playdates to more of a consultant, someone who's there for advice on really complex peer issues. It's a huge shift, and one that most of you have probably been on the other side of not too long ago. So when you take a step back, you see that learning to be a friend is a marathon, not a sprint. Every stage of growing up throws a new social challenge our way, and each one builds on the skills that came before, creating this amazing skill set that we carry with us for our entire lives.
So let's just quickly run through those building blocks one more time. In infancy, it's all about building that secure attachment. In preschool, it's about learning to share and play together. During early childhood, we get into actively choosing our friends and being influenced by them. And finally, in adolescence, the big job is forming those super close, intimate bonds that really help us figure out who we are.
Look, understanding this whole journey from a baby's first bond to a teenager's trusted confidant, it's not just stuff for an exam. So the real question is for all of us. Now that we know this blueprint, how do we use it? Not just to maybe be better parents or teachers someday, but to be more understanding friends right now. And maybe, just maybe, to be a little kinder to our younger selves who are just figuring it all out.